Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a little bit more of the community outrage right now, where we're now seeing basically the community managers having a chance to go and kind of highlight and talk about like what's going on. We're seeing huge amounts of just downvotes everywhere on Steam, basically making the game from like an overwhelmingly positive game down to completely more. It's being flooded with bad reviews, and right now, it does really feel like people are kind of revolting. We made a video on this as of last night, so if you guys saw that or you guys checked it out, you guys may have a chance to kind of get caught up that Helldivers basically is now forcing an individualized link with your PlayStation account, and this has been leading towards a lot of issues of people on PC feeling betrayed, people in specific areas and regions not even having an actual like PlayStation or as well even access to Sony as a whole. And just a lot of people are just not happy with this. There's a lot of memes going on with it, of course, but people are demanding refunds. People are wanting refunds, and it's just kind of a sad situation. So I'm going to talk about this and kind of give a little bit more of, I guess, like the aftershock effect of what's going on right now with Helldivers 2 in PlayStation and Steam. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on today. So follow the Twitter or Twitch down below. We're actually doing our 10-year partner anniversary on Twitch. So you guys just want to see some fun festivities and all that stuff that is linked down below. And of course, give me your thoughts and comments on all this PlayStation drama too as well. So very first and foremost, I do want to go and highlight that one of the community managers did actually go and post out a somewhat public response over here. It's on Discord, but a lot of people have had a chance to see it, where they had this to go and say, saying it's not like this is the first or even the 14th mainstream game to require a third-party account that takes a couple of minutes to create. But if it's a deal breaker, you have to take a 120 seconds out of your day to enter an email and password and then forget about it. Change your Steam review and make your displeasure known on a platform where it matters. Now, this is kind of a weird response, but kind of also true. So I don't want to go take away from the fact that there is, and I think I touched on this on yesterday's video too as well, where there's just a lot of these takes. If you have to go launch Bethesda, it's out there. If you have to go launch, say, a Xbox game, it's out there. EA game, it's out there. Ubisoft game, it's out there. And sometimes even third-party, smaller games as well. Now, I do think the PlayStation is slightly, I guess, more different because this is like many months now after the games come out. And obviously, a lot of people are sometimes pure PC people. But this is also leading towards more people are being, like, kind of complaining about it, rightfully so, on their regional issues and the hacking issues. Now, we've seen a lot of people highlight this quite a bit, and I do agree. But the one issue is that some people just don't want to do it. Like bare minimum. Like even if it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, sometimes it's just the principle. They had a chance to play the game, they've enjoyed the game, they've checked out the game, and now they have to do something that they weren't really expecting at the end of the day. Now that makes sense. Like I understand that. That makes sense. But the one bigger issue is that the people who just don't have the regions just can't do anything, and they're complaining about it, and I think rightfully so. And all the complaints over here have now basically made the game itself turn to mixed reviews. Overall, you can go and see 363,000 mostly positive reviews. But this ratio is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes on. And you can even go and see right now, this actually turned to 73% are positive. But this number is probably keep on going lower and lower and lower as time goes on. And that makes things a little bit on the harder side. So if you guys look through this, the most recent reviews, like as of per recently, 45% of the 86,000 user reviews in the last 30 days were positive, but now with that huge influx, that means that at this point, so you see 45% of those users were positive, 55% of the people are now posting that it's negative. And people are speaking with their wallets and also the reviews. People are asking for refunds. And somewhat actually rightfully so. I still don't think this is the biggest issue. I kind of more so support on the community dev where it's a lot of games do it. A lot of games deal with it. A lot of games are fine with it, sure. But I think sometimes like the principle, maybe just like they like the game, they haven't had to deal with those other issues, or more so it's like a day one launch, let's say for like a Bethesda game or Halo game. Like you're probably expecting some sort of sign up, EA games or whatever it might be. But this is more on an individual indie studio, although it's done very well and done prior games, and this also was kind of a big smash hit. Like there is a lot of memes, a lot of outspoken people, and people are like playing up the game, they like it. And there is definitely people who probably bought this game, like probably millions of people who did not even know this is a PlayStation game. Even when I was making YouTube videos on it, a lot of people were like, oh wait, really? This is like a PlayStation thing? Even though this is kind of I think a really big first step of them trying to go push into the PC market. And that's another thing, is that I do think them trying to get to PC markets, you want to make sure people are happy with your product. Like if you're trying to go and like mooch everyone into it, you have to make sure that you understand the cultural differences when it comes to PC. PC is a little bit more open to modding. They want mods. They're a little bit more open, I would say, to like I don't know, like bigger downloads, that's probably fine. Or when it comes to like, I'm trying to think of other good examples, but like say maybe like small server issues. I'm sure people are like, yeah, it happens. Like look at Diablo, look at World of Warcraft. Like basically PC people are chill, but they also don't want specific things. They're more outspoken. You can get away with more things like say like Suicide Squad. That game was a complete flop. Not a good game, but for console, maybe people are okay with it. When it comes to PC, that game would have been ripped apart because people are really hardcore. Same with like early access games, etc. Like people are somewhat used to that. Like the culture is slightly different, but you also don't want to be scammed or have to change up the culture as a whole. And that's why you go through a lot of these. Where saying I would not recommend this game. Everything account linking sucks, and Sony has been hacked 2 times. And people keep on making that push, and it's kind of a somewhat true push. Because if you're a PC guy, you don't have a console, you don't want to have your stuff potentially taken off here. Make sure you get that PSN account with its flawless security that hasn't been breached at all in the last few years. Sarcasm, Sony back off. It's a flippin' PC game. Pretty scummy to allow this game globally to people on Steam, then months later, well after the refund time, to force players into the PSN network in order to play. PSN is only available in 69 countries, and people using VPNs are getting banned. The devs are mocking users live in their Discord channel, completely unprofessional, but they don't care because they already got their bag and, they have their job. They said, I was a firm believer in this game, deserved Game of the Year, but after the latest announcement, I doubt this game will even survive. PSN required, do not buy. Why make me use my PSN account? I came here to avoid that, like all of that. So basically PC people are saying we prefer PC. We don't want to deal with the console hierarchies and issues. That's fine. Nice game, but enforcing the PSN account requirement after 3 months is a terrible move. And like all these reviews are negative. You were doing so well. I had high expectations for you, and now all I have is disappointment. The automatons have taken over Sony. So it's not even Sony, just Sony headquarters. Attention to all hell divers. And like, look at this. The automatons have taken over Sony's headquarters. Like, people are still memeing and they're upset about it. But like I said, a lot of people are changing this now to a not recommend. Like, the reviews are rough. I mean, some people are like, hey, still a fun game, whatever. But no, it's kind of like once people kind of get their toes stepped on, they're going to go and try to move their foot either out of the way or put it on top of them too. The automatons have taken over Sony headquarters. As a result, they have recently made a decision to actively reduce our numbers by requiring linking, sending military secrets with their PlayStation Network, Intel Collective Network, in order for our safety and security, undemocratic, and making it mandatory, unliberty-like, by May 6th. 2014, Super Earth Time. The Ministry of Time has requested this undemocratic behavior cease immediately and has declared it a threat to managed democracy. All hell divers must put an end to this tyranny in-game. Quote unquote in-game. But it's kind of crazy because a lot of people are against this. Like, a lot of people are now putting their reviews to, like, just, they're kind of review bombing this. Like, people, like, even my own self, I put like 50 hours in this game, and it's not the biggest deal. Once again, I'm kind of more so with the community head, where it's like, a lot of other games do it. It's fine. But I think it's just because people, out of principle, after having to do this for months on end, it's basically giving people like free access to World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, whatever, and then just randomly taking it away. Now, you should, in theory, be happy you had a fun game experience, the game servers are working better, whatever it might be, like in theory. But I'm sure most people, even then, don't like it. But we've gone through all the comments too, and they're like, hey man, like, we already have anti-cheat. Why do we need to have this for Sony? Because Sony's trying to say it prevents hacking. But at the same time, Sony themselves have been hacked, and they had their data breached. So someone who does not want to be a part of that, well, there you go. They also are calling people out for trying to go sell their third-party data, which also makes sense. Even if only PlayStation themselves has it, there is also other vibes tied on him that they could basically be using that for market research and trying to make different games and develop games, which I personally don't mind too much. Like, I'll just Google whatever, who cares? But there's a lot of people who don't like that, like, say, for TikTok or Google itself or Bing or AI or whatever. Saying I can't even go and create a Sony account because there's no Kazakhstan in here. And of course, we have the Borat meme right afterwards. But like, yeah, a lot of people are kind of saying rough, and they're saying like, hey, if this is like the game that we're preaching with democracy, we might as well follow this democracy too as well. Saying they couldn't even just be as straightforward about their skip button actually being a remind me later button in disguise. And that's, I think, what people are more complaining about too as well. And they did go and say too from before, saying it is temporary. Like, they've had like the comments on it. We all know it's gonna be happening on top of this one too. But at the same exact time, it's like, it's just rough. Like, we're seeing a lot of these other various comments over here, like even looking through this too. Like, they're kind of sassing people, saying I thought you were refunding and leaving, and like their other coasts. Like, some people are calling them out. You guys even saw in the review too as well. Like, people are basically like, they're kind of like, hey, tough luck, we already got your money, you probably won't be able to refund it. And obviously that's not a good look. We've been seeing a lot of ways escape from Tarkov these past few weeks too as well, where they've been trying to triple down, quadruple down on bad issues. So like, I just want to hear your thoughts, because I do think it's a little bit bigger than people are expecting, and I can understand why. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. Definitely go hang by Twitch or just lurk up in the background, just the extra +1, just for my 10-year anniversary if you guys want to. And I appreciate y'all for watching. Well, maybe have one more video throughout the day.